this is what makes the digital revolution in India so interesting, is that it's been used by the government to actually provide benefits to all members of society. It hasn't just created benefits for the lucky few. And this, I think, is very different from most other countries around the world. So I think the success here in India is unique, and other countries can learn from it. I think one of the first things is that the other countries in the digital South should say to themselves, if India can do it, we can do it too. Countries need to have the confidence and the ambition to try something that hasn't been tried before, the way India did by creating the Aadhaar number. So other countries could copy and learn from India's experience, but they should also tell themselves, we don't have to depend on the rich countries. We may not even want to let the rich countries be the ones who are in charge, because they may not lead to the kinds of improvements in the quality of life that we really want for our citizens. Let me go back to the perspective I had on growth in the very beginning. I was saying, starting in the early 1980s, growth can be faster. Technology can actually improve the quality of life. And I would point to what were then successes like Singapore, Taiwan, South Korea. And everyone told me, oh, Paul, those countries are so small that you can't really generalize from that. Then go ahead, 20 years, 15, 20 years, I would say, well, look, China has grown faster than any country in history. And they would say, oh, Paul, China's such a big country that you can't generalize from that. And it's like, well, come on, what is it? Is it helpful to be small, or is it helpful to be big? Or maybe size isn't what really matters. I think that's the answer. What matters is a country which has the capacity to decide what it wants to do and to go where it wants to go. And that's what India did with digital services. They decided how they wanted to do it. They did it, and they've succeeded hugely. I think the role of the government is pivotal, and this is the lesson from the Indian success. In the United States, in the West, we've generally had a much more hands-off, kind of laissez-faire market solution, and without the kind of cooperation between the government and the private sector. What we've seen in these other countries is that the digital revolution hasn't generated the benefits that it could have, that many of us first anticipated when these new technologies came on the scene.